لن يصلح أمر آخر هذه الأمة إلا بما صلح به أولها. The last of this ummah will not be fixed and reformed except by that which fixed and reformed the first part. This is a statement from Imam Malik rahimahullah that encapsulates the way out, encapsulates how we can fix everything by going back to the way that it was fixed in the first place. The last of this ummah, if it finds itself lost, in trouble, and does not know the way out, can always look back to the first of this ummah and find out how they did it and just simply repeat it. Because what we had in the past is not simply a theory or something abstract. It was something that was tried and proven. So if a person looks at himself and they say, I'm dissatisfied with myself, I know I can be better, I know that there is a better life, a better type of existence, but I do not know what it is, where it is, how to get it, how to hold on to it. I know there's something better. Or you look at your family and you say, I know that family life is not supposed to be so turbulent and chaotic. There should be a better way. Where is it and how to reach it? Or you look at your community and you realize it is plagued with a lot of problems. There are divisions along many factors, but also people who do not want, are not interested in the truth, consumed by this dunya. And because of that, it suffers a lot of issues. Or you look at the ummah, especially if you're someone who is interested in reviving and protecting the ummah, and you say, well, how do we fix all of this? Imam Malik rahimahullah said, look, whether as an individual or a family or a community or as an ummah, to the way that it was done, and you will find the answer. And the thing that strikes us first as to how the first generation was transformed and was different is their relationship with the Qur'an, the book of Allah Azza wa Jal. That they held on to it firmly and they believed that it has all the answers. Meaning, they didn't just simply read. And a lot of us today, we don't even read the Qur'an. But they didn't just simply read. They read and they looked for answers in the Qur'an. Because all of us have questions, by the way. It doesn't matter how old you are or your position in life. You have small questions and you have really grand questions. And you must seek answers for them. The question is, where do you go for your answers? If you go for people around you, they will give you multiple contradictory answers. You go onto social media, you'll drown in nonsense. You read this philosopher or this thinker, they will give you unproven advice. But have we thought about going back to the book of Allah Azza wa Jal for answers? And that's how the Sahaba radiallahu anhum were. They would read and they would look for answers. And that's when they would not find an answer in the Qur'an, they would go to Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam and ask him, and Allah will say, يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنْ. They ask you about, and Allah will give them that answer. So whatever question you may have, the answer is there in the Qur'an, whether explicitly or it's implicit. And Allah Azza wa Jal told His Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, and by extension everyone who is listening and everyone who follows, فاستمسك بالذي أوحي إليك إنك على صراط مستقيم وإنه لذكر لك ولقومك وسوف تسألون. He says, hold on firmly to what has been revealed to you. You're upon the straight path. You know what it means to be upon the truth and to believe to be upon the truth, that you got it? Mean it doesn't matter who opposes you. It doesn't matter who contradicts you. It doesn't matter who challenges you. You know that you're upon the truth. So you keep holding on to it because you know the value of what you have. And then Allah said, وَإِنَّهُ لَذِكْرٌ لَكَ وَلِقَوْمِكَ. It is a reminder and an honor for you and your people, and you shall be asked. The Qur'an is a dhikr. Means, first of all, it reminds you. Whenever you want to stray, it brings you back. Whenever your mind wanders, it brings you back. Whenever the shaitan is about to take over your life, it brings you back. So it keeps reminding you, this is the dhikr of the Qur'an. That is, without it, you'll be lost. Without it, you will be forgotten and you'll forget yourself. And when it reminds you, it elevates you. Dhikr is also elevation. And the Prophet ﷺ, he said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَرْفَعُ بِهَذَا الْكِتَابِ أَقْوَامًا وَيَضَعُ بِهِ آخَرِينَ. Allah Azza wa Jal elevates people with this book and lowers others. So if people hold on to it like the Sahaba, what happens to them? They're elevated. Even as an individual, if you read it, you study it, you memorize it, you practice it, Allah Azza wa Jal elevates you. You will see it in your life. You turn your back on it, the ummah turns its back on it, Allah Azza wa Jal lowers them. And Allah describes successive generations that get the book, but don't follow it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, describing the people of the book, and I want you here to see how many of us have started resembling the people of the book. قال فخلف من بعدهم خلف ورثوا الكتاب يأخذون عرض هذا الأدنى ويقولون سيغفر لنا وإن يأتهم عرض مثله يأخذوه ألم يؤخذ عليهم ميثاق الكتاب ألا يقولوا على الله إلا الحق ودرسوا ما فيه والدار الآخرة خير للذين يتقون أفلا تعقلون والذين يمسكون بالكتاب وأقاموا الصلاة إنا لا نضيع أجر المصلحين. He said, subhanahu wa ta'ala, then generations followed them who inherited the book. And it's interesting when you hear that phrase, inherited the book, meaning they didn't have to fight for it. And because of that, they do not recognize how important it is. You know, when you inherit something from your parents, and your parents are the ones who had to struggle to earn it and to keep it, so they appreciate it. They know how valuable it is because they understand the sacrifice. Hand this to some children who have no idea about these sacrifices, and they receive it without much attention, with less emotions than their parents. It's just an inheritance. And because of that, they could lose it easily. So he said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, warithul kitab. They just inherited the book. Like a lot of us who have inherited the book. And he said about them, يَأْخُذُونَ عَرَضَ هَذَا الْأَدْنَى. Instead of following what the book wants from them, what Allah wants from them, they will seek worldly gains and compromise Allah Azza wa Jalla and what He loves. Then Allah said, condemning them, did we not take the covenant from them that they would not lie about Allah Azza wa Jal? And they understand what is in the book. And the hereafter is better for the people of taqwa. Don't you have minds? Meaning, if you veer off what Allah Azza wa Jal wants from you, where do you think you're going to be heading? Humiliation in the dunya and in the akhirah. But if you go towards Allah Azza wa Jal, Allah honors you in the dunya and in the akhirah. Don't you have minds? Don't you see history and the present for you to take proper action? Then He contrasted that with those yumassikuna, those who hold firmly to the book and they establish the prayer, we shall not waste their rewards for them. That is the contrast between how the Sahaba radiallahu anhum lived, because they lived the Qur'an. They understood when Allah said, يَهْدِي لِلَّتِهِ أَقْوَمْ, it guides to the best path. Subhanallah, if you are lost in life, it guides you to the best. You want the shortest way to the truth? Where else to look except in the Qur'an? Allah described it, شِفَاءٌ لِمَا فِي الصُّدُورِ, it heals the hearts. You have trouble internally. that had produced external problems as well. You're now well on the inside and you feel it. Where is this shifa, healing? Allah said, I've sent it down. It's right there. It's in your hands. Why aren't you opening the Qur'an and reading and living by what you read? This is the shifa. This is the medicine. And Allah Azza wa Jal said also, وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا, and hold on all to the rope of Allah Azza wa Jal and do not divide. And the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, القرآن حبل الله الممدود من السماء إلى الأرض. He says the Qur'an is the rope of Allah Azza wa Jal that is extended from the heavens to the earth. Imagine if you were to hold on to that rope, what are you connected to? Imagine if you are clueless, you don't know where to go, almost blind, we don't know where the truth is, we don't know the way out, stumbling in the darkness, and you're just looking on for something to hold on to. Just let me hold on to this. If I hold on to it, I know I'm holding on to something firm. And you have this rope, and it leads you the way out of that darkness to Allah Azza wa Jal. This is Hablullah. If you want to be connected to Allah Azza wa Jal, if you want to hear the wisdom of Allah Azza, it's in the Qur'an. And when Allah Azza wa Jal says, وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ, hold on all to the book of Allah. اعتصم, isma, is not just only hold on firmly, but when you hold on to something, it protects you. Because the word asama, Allah said to His Prophet, وَاللَّهُ يَعْصِمُكَ مِنَ النَّاسِ, and Allah protects you from people. سَآوِي إِلَى جَبَلِ يَعْصِمُنِي مِنَ الْمَاءِ, I will climb onto a mountain that will protect me from water, as Allah said about the son of Nuh. So when you hold on to the Qur'an, it gives you isma, protection from division and protection from your enemies. That is the book of Allah Azza wa Jalla. And connected to it is the sunnah of Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam. And you have repeated commands in the Qur'an from Allah Azza wa Jalla. وَأَطِيعُوا اللَّهَ وَأَطِيعُوا الرَّسُولَ. Repeatedly obey Allah and obey the messenger. They are connected because they are one and the same. You do not know what Allah wants from you except through the messenger alayhi salatu wassalam. That's why he said, وَمَا أَتَاكُمُ الرَّسُولُ فَخُذُوهُ وَمَا نَهَاكُمْ عَنْهُ فَانْتَهُوا. Whatever the messenger had told you to do, then do. And what he had forbidden you to do, you should avoid. And there are some people who want to separate between the two and say, we'll just only take the Qur'an but not the Sunnah, for whatever reason they may cite. And the Prophet ﷺ, he predicted this and he said, أَلَا إِنِّي أُوتِيتُ الْقُرْآنَ وَمِثْلَهُ مَعَهُ يُوشِكُ رَجُلٌ شَبْعَانُ عَلَى أَرِيكَتِهِ يَقُولُ هَذَا كِتَابُ اللَّهِ مَا وَجَدْنَا فِيهِ مِنْ حَلَالٍ أَحْلَلْنَاهُ وَمَا وَجَدْنَا فِيهِ مِنْ حَرَامٍ حَرَّمْنَاهُ أَلَا وَإِنَّمَا حَرَّمَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ كَمَا حَرَّمَ اللَّهُ. He says, I've been given the Qur'an and something like it with it. What is this other thing? It is the Sunnah of Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam, because when he speaks from his own. Allah said, what? وَمَا يَنْطِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيُ يُوحَىٰ. He does not speak of his own desire. It is only a revelation that is given to him. So he said, I've been given the Qur'an and something else with it. And it's about to happen that there will be someone who is full of food, sitting on his sofa in bed, saying, there is the book of Allah and that's all that we need. If we find a halal in it, that's the only halal. And if we find haram in it, that is the only haram. Then he said, alayhi salatu wasalam, and indeed what the Prophet of Allah had forbidden is like what Allah Azza wa Jal had forbidden. This sunnah is connected and will always be connected to the book of Allah Azza wa Jal. He said, alayhi salatu wasalam, لَقَدْ تَرَكْتُ فِيكُمْ مَا إِن تَمَسَّكْتُمْ بِهِ لَن تَضِلُّوا بَعْدِ أَبَدًا كِتَابَ اللَّهِ وَسُنَّتِي حَتَّى يَرِدَ عَلَيَّ عَلَى الْحَوْضِ. He said, I have left behind two things that if you hold on to it, you will never go astray. You'll never be misguided. The book of Allah and my sunnah. And they will never separate until they pass by me on the hawd. And that means that both of them will stay together, and both of them will remain intact, and both of them will remain a source of guidance till the day of judgment. So if Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam is telling you in plain Arabic that if you hold on to it, you will never go astray, you will understand then the medicine for all of our divisions. Hold on to the book of Allah and hold on to the sunnah of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, because after him, as he said, there will be many divisions. He said, إِنَّهُ مَن يَعِشْ مِنْكُمْ بَعْدِي فَسَيَرَى اخْتِلَافًا كَثِيرًا فعليكم بسنتي وسنة الخلفاء الراشدين المهديين من بعدي عضوا عليها بالنواجذ وإياكم ومحدثات الأمور فإن كل محدثة بدعة. It says, if you were to live after me, you're going to see a lot of division, a lot of differences. I want you to imagine yourself living at the time of Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam. There were no divisions, no disagreements, right? He said, I'm going to die. And after I die, there will be a lot of ikhtilaf. Ikhtilaf is what differences from what I'm doing and what I'm saying, and also divisions and clashes and friction. You're going to witness a lot of this. So he pointed to all of us the way out. فَعَلَيْكُمْ. Then what do you hold on to then? If this person says A and this person says B and this person says the opposite of the other, what do we hold on to for us to say true to what has been revealed and all of us to stay together? He says, hold on to my sunnah and the sunnah of the rightly guided caliphs after me. Bite on it with your teeth and avoid innovated matters in religion, because every innovated matter is a bid'ah. So there is a way back, and that can be reproduced again. And the final thing I will say about it, what they hold on to, that gave them that clarity and that protection, is the tawheed of Allah Azza wa Jal. فَمَن يَكْفُرْ بِالطَّاغُوتِ وَيُؤْمِن بِاللَّهِ فَقَدِ اسْتَمْسَكَ بِالْعُرْوَةِ الْوُثْقَى لَا انْفِصَامَ لَهَا وَاللَّهُ سَمِيعٌ عَلِيمٌ. It says those who reject at-taghut, and at-taghut is anything that is worshipped other than Allah Azza wa Jal, whatever that may be. Anything that is sought in judgment other than Allah Azza wa Jal, whatever that thing may be. It says if you reject at-taghut and believe in Allah Azza wa Jal, you're holding on to the greatest of grips, the firmest of grips. It can never be broken. And Allah is all hearing, all knowing. Then Allah Azza wa Jal said after that, Allahu waliyyu alladhina amanu yukhrijuhum min adh-dhulumati ila an-nur. Allah is the ally of the believer, the protector of the believer. He gets them out of darkness and unto light. If you believe we're living in a world filled with darkness, the tawheed of Allah Azza wa Jal based on the Qur'an and the Sunnah will give you the way out. And you will be holding on to something that is so firm, no human being can break, even if all of humanity unites against you. We just know the way, we just need to follow it. Following the truth is not easy. And doing the right thing is not easy. And living the right way is not easy. But we have to do it. And if you need strength to do it, you have the book of Allah Azza wa Jal, and you have dua, and you have Allah's promise to support you. But you also must be clear in the fact that doing the right thing may feel lonely at times. You may be challenged, you may be ridiculed, you may feel weak, you may feel isolated. But you have to take that path. Consider if you were to actually poll most of humanity or all of humanity today, should I be a Muslim? What would they say? No. And even if you were to poll all Muslims today, should I live a way that pleases Allah and His Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, what would the answer be? Practically, no. You're going to be alone. And the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam predicted this when he said, بدأ الإسلام غريبا وسيعود غريبا فطوبى للغرباء. He says Islam started a stranger and it shall return to be a stranger. So good news for the strangers. See how Islam, when it started, only few people among Allah who disbelieved and were disinterested. Only few. Did that deter them? Did it stop them? You have Islam today because they refuse to be deterred. And he said Islam will experience a decline where if and when you see it, you will be a minority among a majority that rejects and does not care. And that's why when they asked him, alayhi salatu wasalam, who are al-ghurabad? Who are those who are strangers? قال الذين يصلحون إذا فسد الناس. Those who are righteous, those who are reformed and fixed when people are unrighteous. And another narration, he said, أناس صالحون قليل في أناس سوء كثير من يعصيهم أكثر ممن يطيعهم. He said, they are righteous few in unrighteous many, and those who listen to them are far less than those who reject them. Meaning that they do exist, but in their choices they stand out. They look at you and they say, why are you so strange? Why do you live differently? Why don't you do what everybody else does? Why don't you dress like everybody else? Why don't you talk like everybody else? Why don't you live like everybody else? And if you are weak, you will do what everybody else does. And you will just live a life without purpose. But if you want to hold on to the truth, it's going to cost you. And that's why he said, alayhi salatu wasalam, tuba to you, good news to you. Because every challenge, every bitter moment, every time that you have to push, that is jihad. And Allah elevates you and honors you because of it. And you will be the precursor, the key to reviving the ummah of Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, beginning with yourself. Beginning with your children who see what you're doing, beginning with your wife, beginning with your husband, beginning with your neighbors around you. And then it spreads. If Allah blesses what you are doing, and some of you here may be blessed like that, it will spread to your neighborhood and it will spread to your masjid. And maybe even it will spread to all the ummah. You never know. So there is a way out. There's an off-ramp. And it doesn't have to be miserable. It doesn't have to be bleak. It doesn't have to be hopeless. So whatever your aspirations are, I'm going to start with myself, or I'm going to focus on the ummah, I'm going to focus on the community, whatever it is. Just go back to how he did it, alayhi salatu wassalam. And just commit yourself, at least for today, to the book of Allah Azza wa Jal. To read it, and he also seek answers from it. This is the book of Allah Azza wa Jal, Tanzilun in Hakim Hamid. It is a revelation from the all-wise, the praiseworthy. So if you want hikmah, wisdom, the book of Allah. You want something that will satisfy you, comfort you, the book of Allah.